Hello. Thank you for joining me for Let's Zap the Gender Pay Gap. It is Women's History Month, and I am looking forward to showing you how to make history in a new way. My name is Gwendolyn Tucker. I am founder of Scale Your Pay Academy, as well as founder of Zap the Gender Pay Gap podcast series. Now, I have some good news and I have some bad news for you. The bad news is that there's an elephant in the room. The elephant's name, the gender pay gap. But the good news is that I'm going to shine a bright light on this elephant in the room, whose name is the gender pay gap, and shine a light so bright for all to see what some alarming facts about this elephant in the room. So the bad news on these 5 alarming facts that I will share, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dragnet, where Jack Webb stars as Sergeant Joe Friday, and he says, "Just the facts, ma'am, just the facts, ma'am. All we want are the facts." I'm going to be sharing some facts with you. Fact number 1 is that the female to male earnings ratio is 82%, which means that the gender pay gap is 18%. So what does that mean? It means on payday, on average, women get 82% for every dollar that men earn. Imagine opening up your candy bar expecting a full payday candy bar, and it's 82% instead of $1. Fact number 2 is that the female to male earnings ratio, it varies by age group. Even starting in college, there is a gender pay gap, and it gets worse as women mature and age in the workplace. Fact number 3, the female to male earnings ratio, it varies by race and ethnicity. So check this out. For Black and African American, the earnings ratio is 79%, which means that the gap is the difference of 21%. And then for Native and American and Pacific Islanders, it's actually worse at 71%, which means that the gap is 29%. Fact number 4 is that the female to male earnings ratio, it varies by state. So the state in which you reside can greatly affect your gender pay gap. Just check out this visual here where it shows by state the earnings ratio and how much women earn compared to every dollar that on average men earn. And from this, you can calculate the gender pay gap by state. Fact number 5 is that the female to male earnings ratio, it varies by occupation. Now, I'm an accountant by education and went on to earn my designation as a certified public accountant. So I was very intrigued to see how much the earnings ratio is by financial occupations. And I was appalled at what I saw. Now, I was an accountant as well as an auditor within paper manufacturing, and the earnings ratio is 78%. And so the difference is 22 cents. Can you imagine getting a 22% raise? What could that do to your budget? But also check this out for financial managers. It is 66.1%. The difference, almost 34%. Now, you don't have to be an accountant or CPA to know that these numbers are definitely not good. Now, I've shared some alarming facts and I got some more bad news for you. What's the impact? As I said earlier, on payday, a woman on average earns 82 cents for every dollar that men earn. That's definitely not good. Also, the National Committee on Pay Equity has identified Tuesday, March 14th of 2023 as Equal Pay Day. And it symbolizes how far women and minorities have to work into the year to receive equal pay, okay? That is definitely not good. That's 73 days into the year to earn equal pay compared to men. The bottom line, the gender pay gap affects a woman's financial security, not only now, but well into her future. Because guess what? Pay affects Social Security benefits, as well as retirement benefits. And so you can see how this gender pay gap is affecting the wealth gap, both in the short term as well as in the long term. Now, I shared a lot of bad news with you, but I got some good news for you. Although you can't go back and change the beginning, you can start where you are and change the ending. And so the good news is that there is something that we can do about this. We can be history makers and change agents. So although we can't go back and change the beginning of what happened earlier in the year or earlier years, we can start right where we are and change the ending. Now, the good news is that we have the power and the ability to act, to take action. And to take a calculated risk, I say you work hard for your money, so you might as well take home all of it. It's well worth it. And I also say that going after your fortune requires three things. I call it F to the third power. First of all, you need faith. You need faith and know that not only is it worth it, but also that you're worth it. Also, fortitude. There's a sense of fearlessness and fierceness that you must possess to be able to go after that which is rightfully yours. And then thirdly, you need some facts. You need some evidence to prove your case. So you're going to need some confidence, some faith. You're going to need some fortitude, some courage, and also some facts where you can, with certainty, prove your case that this fortune is yours and it's due you. Now, I created ZAP, the Gender Pay Gap, to bring a spotlight on this elephant in the room and on this problem. But not only that, but also to show women how to zap their gender pay gap. And so you can find my podcast series at gwendolynjtucker.com. I would love for you to add it to your playlist. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as Google Podcasts. But I would love for you to check me out and check out what I share on ZAP, the Gender Pay Gap. I have also created an ebook to show women how not only how to find out if they're caught in the gap, but also how to get out. My ebook, Underpaid, the #1 challenge women face in the workplace, will show you how to locate, calculate, and negotiate to be able to close your gender pay gap. You can find that at gwendolynjtucker.com. I would love it if you would download the ebook and check it out in terms of how to not only find out if you're caught in the gender pay gap, but how to get out. Now, as I mentioned, this is Women's History Month, and it is time for us to zap the gender pay gap. I've created a lot of resources and tools to show women how to close their gender pay gap. And I would love for you to join me in zapping the gender pay gap in terms of being able to make history in 2023 so that we can take home all of what is due us and we can go after our fortune and take those calculated risks. Thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to talking with you in the future.